She is a digital marketing specialist who can spin the meanest website around.
And he's host of the TV show Buzz, which features nonprofit organizations receiving marketing makeovers.
Here on Buzz4Good, we talk all things nonprofit, the people they serve and the good they do.
And we talk to creative professionals and provide marketing tips and tools to help your nonprofit achieve more.
That's right.
Buzz!
Well, greetings and welcome to Buzz4Good, our radio and TV show simulcast that we are airing in partnership with our friends at WFIR News and Blue Ridge PBS. Here on Buzz4Good, we are going to focus on all things nonprofit, the good they do in the communities they serve. And nonprofits do so much across our region in Southwest Virginia, from arts and culture like museums, the symphony, musical theater, to education like the Science Museum, or after-school programs, to animal welfare, spay and neuter clinics, bird rescue programs, groups that work with environmental education, environmental conservation, outdoor recreation, to health and human services like homeless shelters, free clinics, and rescue missions. Nonprofits do so much to enhance the quality of life in our communities, and we are going to feature them here and also provide them with marketing tips and tools so that these nonprofits can attract more donors, volunteers, and clients to their cause so that they can do more and do better for all of us. I am Michael Hemphill, creator and host of the TV show Buzz that airs on Blue Ridge PBS. Each episode of Buzz features a nonprofit organization, and in each episode we invite in a team of marketing professionals who donate their time and talent to help the nonprofits achieve more buzz within their organization. You can see all of our episodes by going to our website, Buzz4Good.com. That's Buzz4Good.com, and on our social media channels at Buzz4Good on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, speaking of marketing pros, let me introduce you to the person who brings a whole lot of buzz to nonprofits on our show, and that is Carrie Cousins.
Hi, I'm Carrie Cousins. I am the president of Aaf Roanoke. We serve marketing and advertising professionals here throughout the Roanoke and New River Valleys. I am also the director of marketing strategy for Lead Point Digital, an agency here in Roanoke. I have always loved working with nonprofits and small businesses, and have worked with quite a few in my career, and hope that these episodes help bring a little bit of extra something to your organization.
Now, we are pre-recording our show, so when you hear it, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels or on our website and let us know what you think. And if you have any questions or marketing challenges that your nonprofit is facing, let us know and we will work to address those in upcoming episodes. Now, our first segment we are calling Nonprofit News. And here we want to feature some upcoming events that are being hosted by nonprofits, that are being hosted as fundraisers, right? But we want you to know about them, hopefully go and have a good time attending them, and also support the nonprofit in return. And so first off, I want to highlight Center in the Square in downtown Roanoke. Center in the Square is graciously allowing us to use its space to broadcast. So thank you, Center in the Square. And because it is October, we want to promote Center's Halloween extravaganza, Blue Ridge Nightmares. Now, for weeks now, folks have been transforming this massive warehouse in the Roanoke Industrial Center into an incredible haunted house experience, happening every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October. Tickets are $20 a person, and proceeds benefit Center in the Square. So get your tickets at centerinthesquare.org. And speaking of Halloween, please, please, please mark your calendars for October 31st. Obviously, that's Halloween, but it's also the day that Hallowheels kicks off. What is Hallowheels, you might ask? Hallowheels is an incredible event that goes to support Children's Assistive Technology Service, aka CATS. And we featured CATS on an episode in September on Buzz, and it's available on our YouTube channel. So CATS repurposes and provides for free wheelchairs, walkers, and standers for families with special needs children across Virginia. About 1,000 children a year are served by CATS. And you would think that insurance or Medicaid would pay for these mobility devices, but unfortunately they do not. And so here's why cats is so important. And to kind of introduce more about this, we're going to play a clip from our recent Buzz episode featuring Stacy Nichols, whose daughter, Layla, has a genetic disorder that has resulted in her having some intellectual and physical disabilities.
I really cannot understate the importance that this equipment has in our life, just to help Leela reach her goals. So, certainly, I am going to get teary-eyed. Growing up and just seeing the milestones that she wasn't meeting, and really not ever being sure if we would have the equipment that we needed to help her do simple things like standing, like reaching out. She just needed all sorts of support in order to do simple things, just to reach out to us. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that CATS has done for us, is to really not only enable that basic level of accessing what she needs, but really, as I had mentioned, just normalizing and really propelling her to the next level and allowing her to break through the barriers that we otherwise would have faced. And I remember we had a wonderful doctor whom we love very much, who I think it was around when Leela was 5 years of age, and we came in for an annual checkup. And I remember she said, and I'm gonna cry again, I'm so sorry, but she said, when I first met you guys when Leela was 4 months, I didn't expect anything. And she said, I have never been so glad to be wrong. And part of that is because of the access that we have had to equipment and resources. And with CATS, that has been made possible.
Now that was a powerful, powerful moment of our show. But Stacy was one of many just incredibly brave and strong moms and dads across Virginia that we got to interview for the show. So I really encourage you to do that. Now, to explain a little bit more about Halo Wheels, I'm going to play this clip from CATS founder, Carrie Cousins, and their interim executive director, John Naples, so they can share more about what Halo Wheels is all about.
Halo Wheels is our way to, in a lighthearted way, get to the public about who these kids are and what their aspirations are. They want to dress up and be somebody at Halloween just like anybody else. You can do so much more with a costume for a child in a wheelchair or a mobile walker than you can just a child walking around. You can be so creative. So it's a way to highlight and make wheeled mobility an asset and draw the public's attention to the potential of these kids, really.
It's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. Basically, it's developing a costume around a piece of equipment that a child uses for wheeled mobility, which could be a wheelchair, stroller, gait trainer with wheels, stander with wheels. Any item like that, we develop a costume for. The fundraising end of it is people can go online and vote for their favorite costume in the contest. And it's $1 a vote. That's how the fundraising happens for CATS. We've had great success in the past. I think last year we had over 18,000 votes, so that means $18,000 for CATS program. This year we're hoping that Buzz can help us with the marketing of Halo Wheels. We feel we've done a great job in the past, but we're all amateurs at it. So if you guys can help us anyway, promote, develop a strategy to get the word out there to more voters, we would absolutely love that.
Well, Buzz was certainly able to help with that thanks to our good friends at 5 Points Creative. It's a Roanoke marketing agency owned by Bruce C. Bryan, and his team developed this really wonderful television campaign that is currently airing all across the state to draw more attention to CATS and Halo Wheels. And they also created this really great new website, halowheels.org. That's Halo Wheels, HALLOWHEELS.org. And there you can go ahead and start bookmarking that so that come October 31st, you can start seeing all the great costumes that these kids and their families have put together in hopes of raising a lot of money for CATS, such a worthwhile organization. So get ready to vote during that week, just $1 a vote, but we hope that you will put forward a lot of dollars and cast a lot of votes to help this great organization. Now, lastly, in nonprofit news, October is Arts and Humanities Month across the country. And so it made sense for me to reach out by Zoom to Roanoke Arts and Cultural Coordinator, Douglas Jackson. Doug, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Michael. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about arts and humanities in general. And October is the month that kind of advocates use to talk about it specifically, to show kind of what they do for us, as people, what they do for us as communities and economically. And it's coordinated through Americans for the Arts, kind of the national advocacy group for the arts. Outside of the advocacy, it's just something I really believe as well. Think about our role here in our community and on the planet and with each other. It's something, pretty spectacular to think about, really, and do some of that deep thinking. And the arts and humanities let us do that. So if you think about, Center in the Square and all the things that happen in Center in the Square, or with any of our arts and cultural organizations in the community, they're doing a number of things. So and we think of them often for kind of economic development. It's an economic sector, arts and culture, and that's just one piece of it. In addition to creating jobs and bringing tourists into the community, it creates a more quality place for us to live in, and does a whole lot for us, on deeper levels as well.
So talk to me about, for those who may not, or listening or tuning in here and may not know about the Roanoke Arts and Cultural Commission coordinator work, what exactly do you guys do?
Yeah, this is the way the city of Roanoke has said this is important to us as a community. Since 1983, we've had an arts commission. And city council appoints 15 members who volunteer their time to oversee the public art collection, which makes the community more beautiful. It oversees the funding for arts and cultural organizations. We have partners across the community, both within the jurisdiction of Roanoke and outside the jurisdiction, who are providing really important services to the community. And we like to be kind of thoughtful about it. So we do some arts and cultural planning as well. So we think that, if everybody's doing something that's good for the community, it all adds up to something great for the community. And that's kind of our role as the Arts Commission.
So share with us, some of the public art projects that you have overseen or just that you know about so that others can more appreciate the work that you guys do.
Yeah, we've got a couple that people can enjoy right now. In September, the city celebrated Welcoming Week, where we highlight how hospitable Roanoke is, how people from many different backgrounds work together and live together, and we celebrated that with an art exhibit, and that's up for the next 10 months in the municipal building. And we put a call out to artists and said, hey, local artists, tell us how, or show us your images of how Roanoke is a compassionate, diverse, and welcoming community. So that show's called Welcome to Roanoke, and it's on the 4th floor of the municipal building. We've got work from 16 artists represented, and it's been a lot of fun. We often focus on our permanent collection. We have 160 works that the community owns that are two-dimensional works on walls and buildings, but they're also public art sculptures out on the streets. This is a little different for us. It's a temporary exhibit. We've got a space now that we can invite the community to share their art in. And I think that's a great role for a municipal program. Yeah.
This was on the hallway with the where you had all the Roanoke mayors of past.
That's right, and the walls are painted kind of a dark taupe-ish color. Yeah. And then we had all these sepia tone images of mayors on top of it, and it was a kind of it wasn't very colorful. And we're such a colorful community.
It wasn't colorful because there was a bunch of white guys who were lining the walls. I mean, on this taupe background. So yeah, probably could use a little color there.
That too, and how those pictures are, people. It wasn't people didn't smile in the pictures. That wasn't the culture.
Very
And so,
very
so it's
serious.
all very serious faces looking at you. So we've got some smiles up there now as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is an exceptionally welcoming city. I mean, we moved here in 1997 and never felt like strangers, and I see so many people who have moved to Roanoke into the surrounding areas. Just such an inviting, welcoming place. And so it's a delight to be able just to showcase part of that here with Arts and Humanities Month.
I really think it's true, and it's a pride point for the community, and it's also an aspirational point. As welcoming and friendly as we think we are, we can always turn it up a notch. I have a friend who says, people, if I come to your community and you tell me that you're like the friendliest community, I expect to be invited to dinner at your house, which is, well, that's a whole other level of hospitality.
Yeah. Right. So what's coming up on the horizon for your
Well, I mentioned one other program that we've got going. We've got another temporary exhibit that's happening, and that's outside on the Elmwood Art Walk. So next in Elmwood Park, one of our kind of a real heart of the community where so many festivals happen, we have pads for sculpture, and we've got 10 works of art down there now. And the theme of that was reimagining Roanoke. So we had asked artists to kind of contemplate how dynamic a city we are. And we have, of those artworks, I think 5 of them were done by artists within a 2-hour radius, which we're really proud of. We've got such talent in the community.
Yep.
And that's another thing we like to highlight is how, arts touch all of us. We're all creative in some way. We enjoy them, appreciate them. We go to see shows, but people in their houses, you might not know about it, but they're quilting, or they're doing pottery, or they're drawing, or they're writing a poem. And all of that is important to us.
Right. So when's that going to debut?
Oh, that's up now. People can see that. That's going to be up for another 18 months or so.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, Doug, thank you so much for all you guys do. Thank you so much for the work of the Arts and Culture Commission. And we hope to be able to check in with you frequently on the show to find out more about what's happening around the Roanoke area, thanks to your work.
I hope so too, and I hope to tune in so I can keep abreast of what's happening.
Awesome.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, and back to the show. I'm gonna say, all right, so if your nonprofit has an event that you want us to highlight on this show, Buzz4Good, please, again, tweet us, message us on Facebook, Instagram, however you want to reach out to us, please let us know about it, because we would love to mention that and feature that on this show. All right, and with that, Carrie, nonprofit marketing and websites. Tell us a little bit more about your background when it comes to websites.
So I have always thrived in the space of helping a small business be better online. What I love to tell people about your website is your website should work for you. You shouldn't work for your website. And that's really should be the mantra for every nonprofit. Your website should help make your life easier while it show your mission, tell people what you do, and actually help them contribute to your organization, whether that's financially, through volunteerism, or just spreading the word about what you do. So one of the clients that we helped on Buzz back in season 1, which is available on the Buzz YouTube channel, was the Southwest Virginia Ballet.
Not only season 1, but it was episode 1. It was the very first episode that we ever shot, and
you can tell in some of the parts. But no, it's such a great experience. And so working with the ballet really emphasized those goals. We helped them create a website that works for them. They had a very old website, as many nonprofits do. They had no real budget for a website, which many nonprofits don't have a large budget for a website. And we put something together that they use every day. They're still updating it constantly, and it's working for them, which is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, so to lead off this, let's just show you about a minute of that episode where we introduce you to Carol Jesse, the executive director of Southwest Virginia Ballet, and the challenges that they faced with their website.
Well, Southwest Virginia Ballet was founded in 1990 by Terry and Jean Post. They wanted to create an organization for dancers free of charge, Free.
Wow.
We have dancers coming from Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Charlottesville, Martinsville, all over Roanoke, Botetourt. They're all coming together on Saturdays for Pedro's classes and to begin rehearsals on whatever performance is next. We have a wonderful board and a very supportive donor base, but money's always a problem for nonprofits. One of our biggest challenges for many years has been our website. We've been very fortunate for that, but it's looking a little ragged, and as much as we would like to be able to put a big chunk of money into it, we just have not been able to do that. And so we just patchwork along with the current website and do the best that we can.
All right, so Carrie, as you recall, what was the state of their website when you first entered the picture here?
So they might come after me when I say this, but it jumped right out of 1994. It was static and it didn't work on your phone, and there was a lot of opportunity available.
You're being very polite. And I think Carol Jesse would admit it was just god-awful. All right, it was a terrible website. I mean, really, I recall there was like a small little bar along the top with a few pages that you could click on.
Yes.
But the body of the website was really like just some
It was
JPEG.
a giant picture.
It was a JPEG that they just would upload, and that's what you would see every single time you went to their site. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, and it wasn't working for them. It
Right.
didn't allow them to be seen in search engines. It didn't actually showcase what they do. I mean, they're the ballet. The thing that makes them amazing is the pictures and the motion and the imagery that comes from the ballet, and the old website just wasn't doing that for you.
Right, there wasn't a lot of photos. There was no video.
Right.
And when you think ballet, you think dance, and you think
Motion.
movement, motion, and there was none of that. So, and when you say search engines, why was it not showing up on search engines?
Because there was no text on the website. It was just one giant photo with some text embedded in it. And so,
And that's what search engines are looking for when you
Right.
type in, Roanoke Ballet.
correct. Search engines
Okay.
need text to find you. So having a website has words in it that say who you are and what you do makes you a lot easier to find. And they didn't have that at that time.
Gotcha. Okay, so from there, what was your process in, what else did they have wrong with the site?
So it wasn't necessarily that it was wrong, but one of the things on their wish list is they wanted to be able to accept donations online. And they had never been able to do that before.
No. I'd forgotten that part. Wow.
So being able to actually collect donations online became a huge task for us, and figuring out how to do that and how to do that effectively. And not only just make your donation online, but we also integrated it so that when you make your donation online, the donor can choose to pay the credit card fee too, so that they get the full amount of the donation. The other integrated piece was allowing dancers to apply for the program online. So instead of having piles of mail with handwritten applications, dancers now go to the website, fill out the application, it automatically emails to all of the people who are supposed to see that application, and they can streamline that process. So instead of making dozens of copies, again, now they're working for their website, right? Their website starts working for them. It's automatically taking some of the labor out of their daily life.
I mean, it's astonishing that, because they have dozens and dozens of ballet dancers who are all trying to apply every year and re-up and plus permission forms and all sorts of things that they have to do that they were doing all manually.
Right.
Yes, right. So that's what you're talking about when you say that the website needs to work for you, not you working necessarily
Exactly.
for the website.
That website is there to help make your life easier as a nonprofit. And if it's not making your life easier, you need to talk to somebody who can help it make your life easier.
Well, and that's also a thing you see with nonprofits. Not only do they oftentimes lack the money, the budget to do something like that, but they just don't have the skill set to revamp a website. Or they turn to perhaps a volunteer who may be well-intentioned, but doesn't really have the know-how when it comes to what makes a nonprofit website work well, as opposed to just a general website.
And one of the things I've learned in working with various nonprofits and organizations is they don't even necessarily realize the opportunity is there. When we really first started talking to Southwest Virginia Ballet about online donations, they were like, that's going to be so cumbersome and expensive that we can't do it. And they didn't realize that really the only fee you pay is the credit card swipe. Like, so once you get this integrated into your site, there's not an ongoing management fee to be able to do this. So it really is just understanding that if you've seen it on a website somewhere, ask the questions as a nonprofit. Is this something that we can do? What tools are available to us? There are also a lot of free tools out there that you can apply for as a nonprofit to be able to do this stuff, and they don't charge you anything once you go through the application process. So sometimes it's just a little bit of time to get the tools to make your life easier.
Just curious, what was the donation platform that you incorporated into their website?
So we actually went straight up with a form builder. We're using a tool called Gravity Forms.
Okay.
You can buy this tool for your website, or if you have a website developer, they probably have a license where they get it, and they're integrating it with PayPal payments.
Wow.
So super easy. Things you've probably already heard of.
Right.
PayPal, everybody knows how to use.
Right, which doesn't cost you anything, it's just the credit card fees.
It's just the credit card
Right.
fee.
But you have that option with the PayPal to have the donor cover those fees.
Cover the fees.
Nice.
So
nice.
instead, so if I donate $100, I could donate $102.80 so that Southwest Virginia Ballet gets $100.
Nice, nice. And the donor still receives the full charitable contribution.
Correct.
For the $102
And whatever cents.
Okay, nice. So from there, so you identified your challenges with the website. Talk about what platform you typically like to use to build a new website.
So I'm a huge fan of WordPress. There's a reason 40% of the websites in the world are running on WordPress. It's user-friendly, it's fairly flexible, and most people can manage it. Like, that's the other benefit, right? Is I wanted to put them on a platform so if they come back later and say, hey, we want to put things on the blog by ourselves, with about an hour of training, they can do it.
Done.
And it feels comfortable, and it feels like things you've seen before. So you don't have to know website development to be able to do simple stuff on your website. There are other platforms out there. That's the way I like to do it because of that user friendliness.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned blog piece.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that important to have it with a website?
So it goes back to that little bit we were talking about with search engines, right? The more content you have on the website, the more frequently you update your website and you keep it fresh, the more opportunity you have to get on top of search engines, to rank for things that are important
Gotcha.
to you. And your blog is an easy opportunity for that, right? It's easy to put new content on your blog. And you don't have to blog every day. I think that's one thing. People get really scared with a blog. They feel like, I gotta put up something every single day. Get on your own schedule. For some nonprofits, that's once a week. For some, that's once a month. For some, it's not even that frequently, but any type of updating you can do, that's a great opportunity to do that.
And the search engines, but they're looking for that update to
Yes,
happen.
they're looking for new content
Okay.
all the time.
And the organizations with more content or more updated content rank higher on the search
Correct.
engines. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. And you want to be top of mind.
You do. You want to be top of mind. So I might not know the name Southwest Virginia Ballet, right? But I know Ballet in Roanoke.
Mm-hmm.
So the more times that the Southwest Virginia Ballet talks about ballet in Roanoke on their website and in their content marketing, the more likely they will rank higher in search engines for those keywords.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, you've identified the problems. You chose WordPress as your platform. Then what with this website?
Then it really came down to talking to the folks at the ballet and really understanding what they saw in themselves. Because your website works for you better if it is an extension of who you are. If it doesn't look like you, if it doesn't feel like you, if it doesn't sound like you, no one's gonna think it's you, right? So we really had a lot of conversations with the folks at the ballet about what they envisioned for the ballet, what they thought was the importance of their mission and what they do. And the thing that kept coming back over and over with them was movement, which seems so obvious,
Right.
but it took us in a different direction because we did not have any idea that we were going to use video on their homepage. But the whole idea of movement, and then because we were recording Buzz, we had video full of movement. We were able to take some of that video and turn it into this beautiful homepage that showed the ballet. You know, one of the things we say so often in content marketing and design is show, don't tell.
Right.
And we were able to take a website that was telling and turned it into something that was showing. Mm-hmm. And it felt pretty amazing.
Well, it was pretty amazing. And we'll get to some of those reactions that Southwest Virginia Ballet's folks had, because I want to show part of that episode where we revealed the website to them. It was pretty dramatic. But what else besides video did you incorporate, and a donation platform, did you incorporate into the website?
We made sure that all of their events were front and center. So one of the things the Southwest Virginia Ballet is most known for is their production of the Nutcracker.
Right.
On their old website, the Nutcracker only happened to appear once a year. Now the Nutcracker is front and center all the time. There are pages for the Nutcracker. There's multiple content pieces for the Nutcracker. We were able to put in the list of all their donors and sponsors to help push their organization out to other people. So not only can they collect donations, but they can also show gratitude to those who've donated on the website. So we went from a website that really had a bare minimum of content to a wealth of information that the ballet already had, and now they're able to share it.
You also did one other thing with the organization, that was a rebrand, a new logo, and we're going to cover that in another episode, right? But when you take a look at their website, you will see this awesome logo. That's going to be a conversation that we'll save for another time. But one other thing that I was struck by that you were able to incorporate into their new website was an online store featuring a lot of branded material, you know, and apparel that they could buy, you know, thanks to the new website. How complicated is that to do?
So it's actually really simple. They are partnered with Press Merch, which is here in town. They actually do the merchandising for them, and they actually have an online store tool that we can plug right into that website. So we're able to pop it in when they have a sale, pop it out when they don't, and so they're able to, again, that website is now working for them, right? They don't have to take sign-up forms around door to door and send them home with the dancers to sell merchandise. You can go to the website, you can order your shirt or your jacket or your hat or your bag or whatever you want, and it's all taken care of right in one place.
Lovely, lovely. Well, speaking of the reactions that Southwest Virginia Ballet had to Carrie's work, we're going to show you part of that episode from episode 1, Southwest Virginia Ballet, when the new website is revealed to them. Carol Jesse's reaction is priceless. I think even more so is the artistic director, Pedro Zelay. And watch now.
So are you ready to see it
I don't know.
out in the wild on your new website?
I think I am ready.
Okay, let's do it.
That's the old one.
That's the old one.
Yeah.
Just gearing you up.
Oh yeah.
All right, are you ready?
I am. It's incredible. And look how beautiful she is. And we were never able to get that across. Of course, I'm going to go to support SVB first.
Of course, and there's more down
As
below
executive
too.
director, this is really what I'm super interested in. Beautiful. It's. I really want to just hug you right now. I mean, this is truly a dream come true for us. It has been like this, added to it for 20 years.
And it's gonna look the same on your phone.
You know, obviously we have to direct people to our website. And we did it hesitantly, but now we are gonna direct
All in.
to the website. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I cannot thank you enough. We're like in the 20th century.
Well, the goal of your
Wow.
website should be to make your life better and easier, and that's really what we're trying to do here.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome. So are you ready to see it in action?
Yes, I am.
All right, there's the old,
Okay.
and here's the new.
Wow.
And feel free to grab the mouse and move
Sorry, I'm very
around.
emotional. That's very good. after all these years.
When I felt like nothing could tell your story like you all dancing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You can see the beautiful joy of what's going on. Yes. Sorry.
No, that's totally okay. As long as it's tears of joy,
Yes,
then you're
it's
not like,
torture,
oh
joy.
no.
No, it's joy. Yes. It's a lot of emotional, especially in these times, you know, with what we're passing through and, you know, personal things and stuff like that. It's very emotional. Yes. Thank you.
You're very
from my heart.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Well, as you can tell, Pedro and Carol were obviously just delighted, enchanted, enamored with not only Carrie, but also all of the great work that she did. Any parting thoughts about working with them and what a joy that was for you, I hope?
What really made it work was their willingness to be open-minded, right? Like having the immense opportunity for change and to push the envelope a little bit and do something totally different really helped them get what they want. And I think that's one of the challenges when you go into a project like this is sometimes you have it set in stone in your mind. And they were really open to, let's see what we can do here, you know, and having a lot of that give and take on understanding, if you understand your pain points as a nonprofit, the person working with you, it makes it so much easier for them to help create a solution to those pain points.
Right.
And so it's not always an easy conversation. When we started out, they didn't know what they didn't know. Mm-hmm. And we helped each other figure out what would be an ideal solution for them. And that's, you know, just seeing the end and when they liked it and it worked for them, that's pretty spectacular.
It was spectacular. You know, and I'm struck by, I mean, nonprofits, they do such an awesome job fulfilling their mission, right? I mean, Carol and Pedro obviously love ballet and they can teach that. Carol, she loves, you know, the administrative side of things, but when it comes to marketing, when it comes to websites, you know, like you just said, they don't know what they don't know, but oftentimes I think nonprofit leaders even feel self-conscious and like, you know,
it's okay to ask for help.
Right, exactly.
It's 100% okay to ask for help. And like, I would want you to ask for help, right? Like, there's no way I'm ever gonna teach anybody to dance. But I can help somebody who can teach someone to dance to better market themselves.
And I obviously can't dance.
We have that clip too.
We're not gonna show that clip, but if you're interested in seeing my ballet lesson, well,
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Okay. Keep your ribcage,
ribcage.
Chest up, rooster chest.
Rooster chest, okay.
And keep your low cheeks tight.
Low cheeks are tight. And I think my calves are already cramping. Okay,
good.
Go ahead.
Now we go demi.
Demi?
Demi is meant to bend.
Okay.
And straight. Very good.
Okay.
Now keeping the weight in the ball of your feet.
Okay.
And go plie.
Ah.
Very good. And careful, don't stick your butt out because we'll go marshmallows. And we go demi.
Marshmallows?
Yes.
Okay.
This is comfortable. Demi.
This is comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. And this is like advanced level stuff, right?
No, this is basic. Cross your feet all the way to the big toe. And the little toes go all the way to your heel.
No, they don't.
Okay, yes they are. Flex your feet, keep your back straight, right angle.
Okay.
It's going to be pain tomorrow. It's going to, my ear is going to be burning tomorrow.
All right. So, yeah, great experience, and I can't thank you enough for coming in and joining their cause and believing in them and helping us get our first episode off the ground. It was a great experience. So once again, inviting you to reach out here on TV, radio. Reach out to us, tweet us at Buzz4Good, Buzz4Good. Also through Facebook and Instagram and through our website, Buzz4Good.com, and let us know about what your marketing challenge is and how we could perhaps help. And if you're interested in being on the show, reach out to us. We would love to hear from you there. All right. At this point, our next segment, and we're getting towards the end of the show now, our next segment is what we're calling No Budget Marketing Minute.
Yeah, there are things that you all can do as nonprofits in 5 to 10 minutes a week that don't cost anything to help expand your reach.
Okay.
So today's tip,
Yes.
go to your Facebook page,
Facebook page. Okay.
find the invite button. It's
So-
in the top right corner of your Facebook page.
So when you say my Facebook page, are you talking about my nonprofit's
Your
Facebook page?
nonprofit's Facebook page.
Okay, not your personal page.
Not your personal
Gotcha.
page.
Okay.
Go to the page.
Right.
In the top right corner, under the hero image,
Right.
is a button that says invite.
Okay.
Go invite your friends and family.
That's it.
It's the easiest way to get more people to know about your organization, right?
Okay.
So if they accept that invite, they're now following your page and they'll see things that your page posts. It's that easy.
And that works not just for nonprofit, but for profit.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody with
Anybody with a page can do it.
Nice. Okay, so we go to the page one more time, and you go to the
Invite.
which is under the
big image at the top.
big image at the top. Okay.
And then when you hit the invite button, you'll see your whole friend list show up. Just start clicking names and
Right.
invite them to the page. Anybody who's not already a fan of the page is available to invite to that page.
Okay, and by following your page, then they are more inclined to see your posts
Exactly.
and engage with you. Okay.
And engage with you. You can actually do the same thing on LinkedIn as well.
And how much does all this cost?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's absolutely free.
Free, folks. Free. All right, here we go.
It just
Okay.
takes a little bit of time.
Right. And now I believe there's a limit to the number of people you can invite every month.
Yes. So for LinkedIn, that's 100.
100 people. Okay.
For Facebook, it's actually a percentage of the number of people who currently like your page.
Ah.
So it's kind of a trick there. So do it once a month
Okay.
Do
Because it renews every month.
because it renews every month.
Gotcha.
And don't be a jerk about it, right? Like, don't invite the same friend 12 times. Like, invite somebody different
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah. Like it. I don't think on Facebook it even allows you to, reach out to somebody again and again.
It'll,
You
at
go
a
once.
certain point, it'll
Right.
say no more.
Gotcha. Right. But a great way to expand your audience would challenge you. I'd be interested to hear from you all. If you try this, see how many, let us know how many new likes and new followers you get through Facebook and LinkedIn. Now, is there an opportunity to do that on Instagram as well?
Instagram does not have that feature yet,
Okay.
and neither does Twitter. So
Okay.
this is really a Facebook or LinkedIn solution.
Nice. Well, for our final segment, I want to take a deeper dive into some of the challenges facing our communities and how nonprofits are helping. And so here I am excited to start a conversation with Abby Hamilton, who's the Executive Director of the United Way of Roanoke Valley. And here's what we discussed in our first talk. You guys have been kind of, I guess, working around the theme of a tale of two cities pertaining to Roanoke. Could you explain more about that?
Yeah, I think I'd like to define it as really the why United Way even exists.
Mhm.
And we call it the tale of two cities because it literally is about the disparities that exist between neighborhoods. And it doesn't even have to be far. You would think that you were in a different country if I described to you like the statistics of what a community looks like in terms of health outcomes, educational outcomes, income ability, employment, those kinds of things in relation to a community that only is probably within a 5-mile driving radius of that same neighborhood. And so knowing that there is inequity and there is disparity where not everybody gets to enjoy the same quality of life that many of us do is important and kind of is the driving force behind the work of United Way.
All right, so give me some examples when you're talking about statistics comparing someone who lives in, is it by zip code, one zip code versus another zip code just a few minutes away?
Yeah, so if you think about it and you look at the comparative stats between neighborhoods in our community, and this is really it's kind of like an open secret. A lot of people know it, but I think once you look at the actual data, it becomes even more real to you and what that actually means. So make an example. If you think about a neighborhood here in, I'm just gonna make a call it out. Like, so for instance, we have a neighborhood in Northwest Roanoke, right? Where you have a population of around 2,200 people. The median household income would be around $24,000 in that area. The poverty rate, if you look at it, 35%, almost 36% of people in that neighborhood live in poverty. If you look at another neighborhood, maybe let's say Crystal Spring, right? It's not so far from it. Literally, you're crossing what? Franklin Road, that stretch of things where your population and your population is much smaller, about 6,000 people that live there. Household income is about $70,000, that median household income. So it's double.
Right.
And then you look at, what that means in terms of quality of life, right? The teen birth rate is a lot higher in that one neighborhood versus another neighborhood. If you look at educational levels, like what's the rate of completion of a college degree, a bachelor's degree, one area will have as low as 7.3%, right? Compared to somewhere where you have 64%
Wow.
of people completing a bachelor's degree, right? So those are kind of the things that is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, of course, college degrees lead to a higher income, which lead to better housing, better healthcare, better outcomes for your children and then your grandchildren, and it perpetuates itself, right?
Exactly. And then if you think about something as basic as how long do I get to live, right? Like, what is my life expectancy as an individual if I were born in one zip code, as you mentioned earlier? In one zip code, it can be as low as 70 years old. My life gets cut off at 70, right? On an average. And then compared to 83 or 84, I can be as old as 84 and live a quality of life. So that's a 15, almost like a 14-year gap between two neighborhoods and their old life expectancy.
So, and for those who may not know Northwest Roanoke versus Crystal Spring, how many miles are we talking about here between the two, or what kind of distance are we talking about?
Not very far, right? If somebody drove from one area, it could be, I'm looking at a map right now, and it's probably less than 5 miles.
Wow.
In
So
driving distance.
Less than 5 miles determines whether you live another 14 years.
Yes.
Incredible.
Isn't that kind of just mind-blowing?
Yeah, right. And it's happenstance depending on where you're born. I mean, there's incredible, right? And not only,
and I love what you said.
Yeah, I was going to say,
go ahead.
Not only the length of your life, but also the quality of your life during those years. I mean, whether you're able to eat well and have good education and, opportunities to explore the world through travel and quality of life and meaningfulness of life with the job that you have.
Yeah. So let's pretend, I was going to say, like, if we wanted to visualize something, right? Let's pretend that on this day, two pregnant women went into labor over at Roanoke Memorial, right? One of them lives in a neighborhood that we've been talking about where the outcomes are a whole lot poorer, right? And another person lives in another neighborhood where that isn't the case. They have their babies at the same time, right? They get discharged, X number of days later, they go home into those same neighborhoods, like you said, where one child literally goes home, right, from a 5-mile radius from the hospital, and might be going home to housing a situation that is not, safe or not ideal. They might be in a neighborhood where food access, there is no grocery store within close proximity. There might be problems in terms of accessing healthcare, regular healthcare or quality childcare, and maybe in a household where the income might not be sufficient to support the overall health and development of that child. Whereas the other parent goes home into a neighborhood and into a community where all of that is available to them. And so you're right, you kind of project out what might happen in terms of access and opportunity to those two children that are born, 5 miles apart.
Incredible. Well, so let's talk about what are some of the nonprofits that United Way is working with to try to address these issues?
Right. Well, like I said, it's kind of like an open secret, right? Like there is data that we've known for many years that is very compelling, and it's very clearly demonstrating where a huge pocket of disparity exists within our communities. And it's not just in that one neighborhood I was talking about in Northwest. There are other areas or neighborhoods in the city of Roanoke in particular, and in the region, where we see high concentrations of poverty and these related outcomes. And so it has also been, I would say, a focus for a lot of partners, not just from United Way's perspective and nonprofits, but it has become really a rallying point even for local government and for other groups that really want to address those inequities. And so that's good news, right? So since 2012, when some of this data kind of came to light, where we recognized where the greatest disparities were in our communities, in 2012, Carilion Clinic launched one of its earliest community health assessments. They do that every 3 years with community partners. And so that's how United Way and a lot of nonprofit partners began to mobilize to take action, not just on the surface issues of how do I address providing better access to healthcare or food access, but really looking at the root of those and how do we mobilize partners. So I'm going to give you an example. Since 2012, one of the things that has happened would be partners like New Horizons, which serves within the Northwest neighborhoods, a fairly qualified healthcare center. And our partners have rallied together to open up a dental clinic. Before, it didn't exist, right? And so we rallied around New Horizons to be able to offer dental services within that area. That same service has now also expanded in the Southeast neighborhood in partnership with like Bradley Free Clinic and also the Rescue Mission Frayling Free Clinic. So it's like taking the assets that we have here in the entire community with United Way, also kind of rallying partners and working together where we can to kind of feel where the gaps are.
Why don't we leave that conversation here? Because, you know, the more I'm thinking about this, how do you begin to address the tale of two cities? Because there's a healthcare issue, and you've already talked about the healthcare as far as Carilion Clinic and New Horizons and dental care, you know, but then there's education, there's childcare, there's you know, income inequality, and how do you address that? Is that through work, or is that through, you know, providing other resources? I mean, it's such a wide-ranging topic, and I would love for us to come back another time to talk about those other areas. There's, you know, we haven't even talked about, you know, this outdoor recreational opportunities and all the things that go on with that. Right. So let's do that later. Let's focus a little bit more on the medical side of things. You know, so you mentioned like what Carilion Clinic has done, which is a nonprofit. You've mentioned, you know, New Horizons. Any other nonprofits working in the healthcare space to address this work?
Yeah, so I think one of the most fascinating things that has happened is this whole recognition that, you know, healthcare is not just primarily for people who are doctors and nurses, right? But it also has to do, and health and well-being in general, right, has everything to do with the things that you talked about earlier: housing, levels of education, food access, those kinds of things. And so it's been really good to see. We have about, I would say like 40, 50 different organizations partnering together in the Roanoke Valley under the umbrella of Healthy Roanoke Valley that United Way works with and is housed here at United Way, that allows us to take action on a lot of these things. So for instance, if you think about, our example was around dental care. One of the things that people said is how difficult it is to kind of navigate the healthcare system, right? So people don't know where to go, how to access the services that they need. So one of the things that Healthy Roanoke Valley and United Way launched in partnership with those partners is this whole concept of a community health worker. People that live in those neighborhoods, that know the neighborhood, and also are knowledgeable about resources that are available, that can then help identify and guide people to be able to find the services that they need and help connect them. So that, let's say, somebody's showing up in the emergency room because they have high blood pressure that is uncontrolled. Well, on the surface, it seems like, well, they have uncontrolled blood pressure. But when you dig further, what then the community health worker is able to find out is, they might not have adequate housing. They might not have access to a regular doctor that they can go to. So the community health worker then connects those individuals with these other services that then lead to those better quality outcomes in health.
Wow. All right. Well, I will look forward to us continuing this conversation in coming episodes to try to dive in deeper with, some ways that you guys are working with nonprofits and how we as community members can help your work and your nonprofits work in trying to make A Tale of Two Cities not quite as broad or divisive or just troubling as it is. So thank you so much for your work, for joining us on this show. And we'll look forward to connecting with you next time, Abby.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you so much. So my conversation with Abby Hamilton obviously focused just on the disparities in income and healthcare and education taking place in Roanoke. But unfortunately, this is a situation that is replicated in communities and cities across the United States. But that being said, if our conversation inspires you to want to reach out and do more, to donate more, to volunteer more, then I would encourage you to go to the United Way of Roanoke Valley's website, uwrv.org. And that link is also going to be on our website, buzz4good.com, but uwrv.org. And there you can make a donation, find out about volunteer opportunities, or dare I say, discover other ways to be a Buzz for Good in our communities. And speaking of Buzz for Good, one last time, I invite all listeners and viewers to reach out to us through our website, buzz4good.com, our social media channels, @Buzz4Good, and let us know what you think about the show, what challenges your nonprofit is facing, what questions you might have about marketing, and we will try to answer those in the coming weeks. And with that, Carrie, thank you so much for being my guinea pig and joining me for this new Buzz initiative.
Oh, thank you for putting all this together.
Well, it is a delight, and we will look forward to seeing you back next time on Buzz for Good.